Welcome to Canadian SME Small Business Podcast, where we spotlight the innovation and spirit of Canada's small and medium-sized businesses. I'm your host SK. Today, we delve into a key aspect of our communities, highlighting the vital role of local businesses in driving our economy and enriching our society. Today, we are diving into the world of financial leadership and transformative power of strategic consulting. We will explore how tailored financial and operational management strategies, design growth plans, and the strength of coaching and community can propel businesses on newer heights. We are very delighted to welcome Carleen Dehaney, founder and principal of FXO Consulting Inc. Carleen brings over 2 decades of experience in business finance and operations. Having held C-suite positions in both for-profit and non-profit sectors, with accounting credentials from Canada and the UK, Carleen's expertise spans across continents. She is an entrepreneur in residence at York University's Y Space Entrepreneurship Program and a sought-after speaker who shares her insights with finance professionals and entrepreneurs alike. Currently, she contributes to the VP Advisory Committee of the Black Female Accountants Network and has previously served on the boards of the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants Canada and the Toronto Kiwanis Boys and Girls Clubs. Join us as we delve into Carleen's journey, her approach to consulting, and her impact on the business community. As we gather here during the Black History Month, it's a time to reflect the achievements and acknowledge the struggles of Black individuals in various fields. Today, we are honored to have Carleen Dehaney with us, a remarkable Black entrepreneur whose journey and work at FXO Consulting embody the spirit of innovation and resilience. Good morning, Carleen. Welcome to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's truly an honor to have you here with us today. Your journey, marked by significant achievements and contributions to the financial and operational fabric of businesses, is incredibly inspiring. Carleen, as we reflect on the importance of Black History Month, could you share how your identity as a Black entrepreneur has influenced your journey and mission with FXO Consulting?
Absolutely. I think what's been really important as a Black entrepreneur is being visible to others. I think it's definitely a way of being inspirational to motivate other Black entrepreneurs that may not believe that it's possible to start their own business or be successful in entrepreneurship.
Okay. And are there any unique challenges and opportunities have you encountered, and how have they shaped your approach to business and leadership?
Oh, absolutely. I think just understanding that any journey is not a straight line. So, you may have plans and they go the way you want them to go. But having that resilience is really, really important, and bouncing back. So having a plan B, maybe trying a different approach, but realizing that sometimes it just takes a different viewpoint to think it through, and then you will be successful.
Yes, you're right. To everyone tuning in, Carleen's journey is a testament to the power of persistence, vision, and the impact of diverse voices in shaping the enterprising landscape. As we celebrate Black History Month, let's commit to recognizing and supporting the incredible contributions of the Black entrepreneurs in our communities and beyond. Remember, each story we share and every voice we amplify contributes to a more inclusive and vibrant tapestry of success. Now, Carleen, shifting our focus on the inception of FXO Consulting, I'm curious about what initially drove you to start this venture. What gap did you aim to fill in the business landscape?
Oh, yeah. That's a really, really good question. What I was finding is post-startup, so entrepreneurs can get started, they've got their bookkeeping, they're doing transactions. They were going into the phase of scaling. And at that point, you need to be able to make informed decisions. And I saw there was a gap where moving from compliance to strategy, and really supporting entrepreneurs to understand their numbers, to streamline their operations, to make them as efficient as possible, will all result in increased profitability. So really supporting them on that transition journey.
Okay. So which year was that, when you saw this gap and you decided to embark on this journey?
Oh, I think it's been something that's always been at the back of my mind. I had a long corporate career, and it's something you see over and over again. They always say that most problems and challenges aren't new and unique. So, even when I was in the corporate career, you'd see the same sort of thing, especially with companies that were on the younger side, like, 5 years old. Um, and yeah, decided to explore entrepreneurship for myself. And I think that's a skill that I have that I could really support entrepreneurs with being successful.
How is this journey so far? Like, how are you feeling?
Oh, it's been an interesting journey. I think I've grown myself as an entrepreneur. I've been challenged in ways that I couldn't have expected as being in the corporate career. There's a lot of responsibility as an entrepreneur. It's not just the financials that I can manage in the operations. You've got marketing, you've got IT, and e-commerce, for example, and those are all new areas for me. So it's been an interesting journey. I think for me, with my background, lots of planning and thinking through. But I'm enjoying the journey, and I'm hope it continues to be successful.
Fascinating, Carlin. It's clear that your initial vision was both bold and necessary. As you navigate the challenges and triumphs since then, how has your vision for FXO Consulting evolved and adapted to the changing business environment?
I think it's been, as we've come out of the pandemic, there's definitely a different way of working. So where traditionally maybe consultants would have gone in-house, one-on-one, having lots of meetings, we've become more virtual, more remote. And also I'm also finding as well is we're becoming more diverse in work-life balance. So there might be individuals that perform their work at night and are busy in the day, maybe with other responsibilities, family obligations, for example. So I suppose as I grow as an entrepreneur and with FXO, it's looking at how can I service those entrepreneurs that may not have office hours availability, that they need to be able to access resources different times, days, and in different mediums. Some people are better with visual information. Some people are better with one-on-one learning. So it's adapting the way I deliver my service for the growing audience.
Yeah, as you rightly said, entrepreneurs, they work for 24/7, right? And at the same time, we have to manage our family as well as the business. And at this point, I just wanted to ask you one question. What is your key piece of advice as we are going to as we are celebrating the Black History Month? What is your key piece of advice to other Black entrepreneurs who are thinking or planning to start their own business?
Mm-hmm. I think going back to my original point, the planning piece, seeking out resources. There's lots of resources, whether online, whether communities like SME, other communities where there's experienced entrepreneurs that have already walked the path that they have walked. So seek guidance. People are very happy to share their journey, where they've been successful, where they haven't been successful. So there's lots of learnings in that sense. You don't have to go on the journey alone.
Right. As you rightly said, seeking guidance and seeking help is one of the most important things that you can do. Thank you for sharing your insights and experiences. Now, in the world of consulting, the magic often lies in the strength of client relationship, right? Carleen, today we are eager to learn about your approach to building these essential connections. Building a rapport with clients is fundamental in consulting. Could you share your approach to understanding and meeting the unique needs of your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's unique about my approach is, especially for the service-based clients, is I am my clients. I am also a service-based entrepreneur. So I've experienced the challenges firsthand of growing and scaling a business. Coming from the other perspective, from the more strategic oversight, I've had to provide that support to leaders, whether it's executive directors, CEOs, presidents, and really empower them to be able to make those decisions. So give them the key pieces of information. How can they utilize their resources, whether it's an in-house finance function or an outsourced accounting or bookkeeping firm. So it's really just working with my clients on empowering them, educating them. So long after working with me, they're still able to use tools and things that they've learned to grow their business.
That's a truly client-centric approach. Delving deeper into this, could you provide an example where this approach helped in creating a significant success story for your client?
Oh, absolutely. So an example would be where working with a client, a service-based client that's growing, but not achieving the level of profitability that they're expecting. So the top line is growing, but the bottom line isn't. I'm really working with them to take a step back, understand what's their revenue mix, what's their cost management, really understand like what's going on with the business model to uncover where their things might be not as expected, and then looking at how can we resolve those things and improve them to result in greater profitability.
Good to hear that. Like your dedication to understanding and partnering with your clients highlights the essence of effective consulting, Carleen. It's inspiring, like I sit with a lot of different entrepreneurs, and it's always inspiring to hear how empathy and personalization play such pivotal roles in everyone's work. In the competitive arena of business consulting, like standing out is not just an advantage, it's a necessity, right? We are curious about what sets FXO Consulting apart.
Yeah. I think it's that personable approach to what you're saying. So, people feel that we understand the challenges that they're going through. It's not just theoretical. We truly understand the experiences, and being accessible. In this world, there's a lot of digital information, which is great and gives us the accessibility at, anytime, anywhere in the world.
A lot of information,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. But sometimes people just want to build a relationship. They want to be able to ask an individual person and have that comfort and, I suppose, good relationship with that individual where you can ask the questions you need to ask and you'll get a response.
Right.
There's that human interaction piece that's almost an added bonus to the digital assets that we all have access to.
Yeah, that's right. Like human to human connection is different, and I think no matter whatever the new technology or anything comes, it will never overtake the human to human connection. The consulting industry is teeming with talent and solutions. What differentiates FXO Consulting's approach from the rest, and how does this uniqueness benefits your clients?
Yeah, I think it's taking it back to that very practical, usable solutions. So we could create lots of very big, detailed feedback, but clients want to know something that's practical, that they can understand, that's in a language that they understand, that they can apply immediately. I think that's going to be really key when you're thinking about solutions to any challenges that entrepreneurs have.
Okay, and can you elaborate on how this unique approach translates into tangible outcomes for your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, some of the key takeaways long after working with me is that they will have tools, frameworks, resources, guides, for example, all detailing how to overcome the challenges that they're working on. So you can always go back to resources. Tools help you really focus on what's important, and thinking about, okay, how can I continue to use this framework going forward to ensure that I can make the decisions that I need to make. So it's not necessarily a reliance. I think my approach is different. It's not a reliance on the relationship to be able to make the decisions. It's because going back to empowering and educating my clients with the tools, with the frameworks, with the guidance, so then they can learn to make those decisions and build on them going forward.
And a quick question from me and for my listeners, like what role do you think like AI is playing in consulting business?
Mm-hmm. I think it's definitely benefiting it. I think it's helping with efficiencies. So where you've got maybe basic frameworks, basic understandings, it can definitely make that process a lot easier. It can summarize things for you. If you have a vast amount of data that you need to get through, it can do all that analysis from you, for you, I should say. But then I think that human element of the oversight, the understanding specific to that client and their challenges is where that human element is added on top. So it's just going to make us more efficient, where the basic computations can be done by AI, but then the experience and the expertise will be layered on top.
All right, that's totally correct. And as you mentioned, like what differentiates FXO Consulting from others? Can you share your thoughts, or any kind of suggestions for our small business owners? As I'm representing the small business owners here, so can you share your thoughts, like how any small business can differentiate their own business from others?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's having that true understanding of what makes them unique. Going back to kind of how FXO helps them with that is really thinking about, and I talk about financial leadership. So we're not looking for entrepreneurs to become experts in financials, but you do have to be able to utilize whether it's the resources, whether it's individuals, whether it's companies, to be able to get the information that you need. So you do, as an entrepreneur, need to become a financial leader. A good basic understanding of bookkeeping is definitely a bonus. And then from there, you can understand, what makes you the most profit from your business. Are you spending more than you expected when you do some variance analysis, for example? How can you make your operations a lot smoother? So therefore, you reduce costs. So it's that financial leadership gives you then the oversight to either work with individuals that you need to work with and have an understanding of the information that you're getting back.
Thanks for sharing this. And how can our readers, our listeners can get connected with you if they want, they want to learn more about your services or they have any questions?
Oh, absolutely. So I've got my website, which is fxoconsulting.com, and you can book some time with me. You can reach out and send me a message via the website. I'm also very active on LinkedIn, so feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Feel free to send me a direct message on LinkedIn. And I'm happy to respond. And I do lots of posts. So if anything sparks their interest, feel free to comment. And I'm very happy to respond.
Thank you for sharing this, Carleen. Your insights today have been invaluable. Thank you for tuning into the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. We are going to take a quick break to catch our breath. Stay with us and we will be right back with more insights and stories from the heart of a small business.
You dreamt big. You made the leap. You and your "we're not stopping at small" business. Doesn't matter you've never done it before. You unlock those problems. You adapt to change. You learn to evolve. You're pioneers in challenging times, finding your own frontiers. Wherever you e-commerce, UPS is with you. So nothing is going to hold you back.
Nope.
Constant Contact delivers the marketing tools your small business needs to keep up, excel, and grow. Constant Contact, helping the small stand tall.
Welcome back to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. Let's continue our journey into the inspiring world of small businesses, full of innovation and passion. Now, Carleen, it's clear that unique strategies employed by FXO Consulting not only carve a niche but also drive meaningful results for businesses you work with us. Your insights today have been invaluable. Success in the business often hinges on the strength of its foundational strategies, Carleen. We are intrigued by the frameworks that underpin the success stories at FXO Consulting. The framework and strategies behind FXO's success are a testament to thoughtful leadership, as you shared. Can you delve into the financial and operational management frameworks that you have developed?
So there are three key elements to the framework for working with FXO. We look firstly at financial management, ensuring that you're working with, whether internally or externally, ensuring that you're up to date with all your compliance, you're working with the right team, you have a good understanding of what needs to be done and when. Then you're looking at kind of growth strategy. Now you've got the foundation, you're going to put up the structure of the building. So where are you planning to go? How do you want to get there? And what needs to happen as part of that gap from where you are today to where you want to be? So really looking at what strategies are best for your organization. What's the timeline? What kind of strategies would be used? And benchmarking it against your competitors, the market, and really understanding, how are you going to grow your organization? And then the third piece is that support and community piece. So, having that safe space that you can reach out to. I have a question. I think, I need to understand this better. I want to have a conversation with my service provider. Where do I start with that conversation? often I say my clients find that they don't know what they don't know. So they know what they want to ask and what the outcome is, but they don't know how to ask that question. So, utilizing my team and myself to just give them that support, to empower them to be able to leverage the most out of any of their service providers.
Okay. Those frameworks sounds integral to the holistic approach at FXO. How these tools empowered your clients to not only achieve but sustain success?
I think it goes back to that, just being really understandable, putting things in plain English. So, our clients, we're not looking to make them into finance professionals. They're entrepreneurs. So they need to be able to understand how can they use those frameworks in a way that are practical, that are relatable, and they're going to bring them success.
The ethos of FXO Consulting extend beyond business success. It's about fostering a community through coaching and collaborative growth. Carleen, we are excited to hear more about how this philosophy, materialize in your programs. Your group accelerator program and one-on-one VIP day seems to encapsulate the essence of FXO's philosophy. Can you tell us more about these programs and the philosophy they embody?
So the Group Accelerator program will definitely incorporate that community feel. So it'll be a small group of entrepreneurs at the same level. So they're just definitely understanding and experiencing the same challenges. Then we'll go through a program of, what I would work with, my clients one-on-one in that group setting. So we'll look at the foundations, we'll look at the financial management. Then we'll start looking at any areas of risk, the operations, growth strategy, for example, over a series of weeks. And what's really important there is it just gives them ability to access my services, maybe at a different pricing rate than my one-on-one clients, for example. Then moving on from there is the VIP days. The VIP days are where clients are very busy, entrepreneurs have lots of things going on, and maybe they need to address a specific challenge, and we'll carve out a day, which is typically 6 hours, and really focus on addressing solutions for that challenge. So the client will go away with some practical tools, solutions to be able to address that challenge and feel positive and confident going forward.
And these are one-to-one, right?
Yeah, the VIP days are one-to-one. Yeah.
Okay. I think these programs represent a fascinating approach to business coaching. Reflecting on their impact, what transformation have you witnessed among the participants and their businesses?
I think it's the biggest transformation is I thought I didn't understand or like numbers, and where clients have come away and said, I really look forward to our sessions together, our strategy sessions together, which is really encouraging, where you're seeing the outcome. You're not getting bogged down in the fact that it's numbers, and people typically have a dislike for numbers. They're focusing on what's the outcomes, what are the benefits of understanding these numbers. And having my clients looking forward to their sessions is definitely very beneficial for me as well.
And also, can you share, are these programs ongoing, or are there any specific threads that you would like our readers and listeners to know?
Stay posted. But they haven't started yet. So we'll be rolling them out later in 2024.
Okay. Carleen, if any of our listeners and any of our small business owners would like to know more about these programs, what's the best way to reach you?
Absolutely. I'd say reach out to me via my website. Send me a direct message either via my website or on LinkedIn. And the plan is to launch both of those programs in late spring 2024.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Before we wrap up, Carleen, could you offer a key piece of advice to our ambitious listeners, especially what guidance would you provide for those navigating the complexities of financial management and business growth?
Well, absolutely. I think it's definitely, seek help. If it's something you're struggling with and you're not getting the answers, seek help. And I think overall as an entrepreneur, I speak to just stopping and reviewing things. So we're all very busy. Sometimes we just move forward as entrepreneurs because we're very busy, keeping busy. But sometimes stopping, reflecting, and having an overview of what's going on can be really, really insightful.
Carleen, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your valuable insights and experiences with our audience. It was a great pleasure hosting you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you. Thank you, Carleen Dehaney, for enlightening us today on FXO Consulting's journey and the vision. Her expertise in financial leadership and strategic planning has offered invaluable insights for us. Our gratitude extends to our partners, RBC, UPS, Zero, and Constant Contact for their unwavering support. Listeners, we hope you found inspiration in today's discussion. For more insights, subscribe to Canadian SME Small Business Magazine by visiting CanadianSME.ca. Thank you for joining the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. Stay tuned for more compelling stories from across Canada.